Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the U Room at Flappers, Burbank. Please remember to respect the 2-item minimum. Put your cell phones on silent and refrain from talking while the comedians perform. And now your host. You've seen him on Last Comic Standing and Craigslist. Please put your hands together for Erik Escobar.
Oh, last Comic Standing, everyone. It's on TLC. It's a good show. How you guys doing? Yeah! Oh, we're having a good time. Before we start up, some quick things that are very fun. If you guys look on your tables, you can see these raffle cards. There's like 3 of you here. So if you enter the raffle, you got a good fucking chance. Just throw that out there. But other than that, you guys all ready to have a good time? Ready to laugh? Cool. I just want to tell you guys a quick story that happened to me this week. My buddy Todd, who's here, he took me out to lunch. And I am a dumbass, and I got to lunch an hour early. So I'm at Fuddruckers up the street, because we classy. And I'm there, and I'm playing a video game, I'm playing the arcade. I turn around, and Jay Leno and his manager are sitting like 4 feet away from me. And then I don't move for 2 minutes. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So my balls finally drop from my stomach. And then I go up to him and I'm like, hey man, I'm a big fan, I'm a comic, and I'm performing down the street. So I just want to say you're a really big inspiration and thank you for everything you've done. And he's like, oh, that's great. You said you're a comic performing tonight? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I'll come and watch you. What? So I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Peed a little. And then I was like, yeah, my show's at 7. He's like, oh, sorry, I have another show at 7 in Hermosa Beach. I can't make it, but if you can roll to that show after your show, we can talk. So I cancel my show here, and then I go outside and I cry and chain smoke a pack of cigarettes outside of Fuddruckers, because we classy. And that's the second thing I do is I call my mom and I'm like, Mom, I just met Jay Leno and he said he wants to talk to me. And she's like, oh, so you're gonna be on the Tonight Show? It doesn't work like that, Mom. It's not the process. She's like, when are you going to be on the Tonight Show? I have to go. So I hang out, and then I drive to Hermosa Beach. I get in the will call line, because the show is sold out. I get in the will call line at 5 p.m. I'm number 4 on the wait list line. I'm number 4 on the wait list line. I'm the last one to make it into the show. I go inside, and Jay Leno's opener is Jimmy Brogan. He's a wonderful comic, and I opened up for him a couple months ago. So I'm like, oh, in. And right after Jimmy's set, Jay goes on, I go outside, and then this guy hits me up. He's like, oh, are you trying to look for Jay? I'm like, no, I just wanted to say hi to Jimmy. He just went on, I opened him for a while back. He's like, oh, okay, you're a comic. I'm like, yeah, I try to be. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, can you do clean? I'm like, yeah, I can do clean. He's like, are you good? I'm like, I think so. And he's like, oh, okay, give me your card. So I give him my card, and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then the valet guy is just sitting to the side looking at me like this. I'm like, why are you mad dogging me, man? What's going on? He's like, you just talked to the owner. The owner doesn't talk to no one. So I'm like, oh god, I'm pooping right now. And then Jimmy comes out, and then I start talking to him, and I'm like, hey man, it's good to see you. I saw Jay earlier today, and he said he'd come and see me possibly. Is it cool if I give you my DVD, and then you give it to him? And he's like, you know what, the show is going to be on for 2 more weeks till it moves to New York. I can't really give him anything, I have no pull. What you gotta do is after the show, just hit up Jay, give him the DVD yourself, then he'll remember you. I'm like, all right, that's great, that's awesome. So I go back in the club, I watch the rest of his show. Right when Jay ends, I go to the door because I want to be like the first one out, and there's this guy just being like, and he's like, we don't want people to mob Jay. And I'm like, this is fucked up. I'm gonna lose my chance to talk with Jay Leno. Like, I can't come back next week, he won't remember me, this sucks. So eventually, they open up the doors, and I like walk out, and I see Jay in a tuck fucking little Fiat 600. I think it's funny because it's a gay car. And then Jimmy Brogan's sitting in the passenger side next to him, and I make eye contact with Jimmy. All these people are mobbing the car, and he's just like, I'm like, all right, I'll see you later. And then I walk away, and then I just hear, you! And I turn around, and the owner is just pointing at me through like a crowd of people, and he's like, they want to talk to you. I'm like, oh my God. So I walk up to Jimmy's side of the window, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And the owner's like, no, Jay. So mid-handshake, I leave Jimmy, and I walk over to the other side of the car, and Jay gives me like a hug through his window, and he's like, Fuddruckers! That's me. He's like, thanks so much for coming out. I want to see you perform. I'm like, that's great. When can you see me? He's like, I'm really busy. Tell me a joke right now. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm not really in the mood to do that. Someone like just got shot outside of my apartment, and I'm kind of freaked out right now because it's the first time I've ever used a gun. Good fucking joke, guys. Good fucking 8 out of 10. All right, 8 out of 10 for on the spot thing. That's great. And he goes, ha! That's funny. I'm like, yes, fucking that's funny. And then he's like, I want to see you got a DVD. And I'm like, yeah. I give him my DVD, and he's like, thanks, Escobar. And then he drives away in his Fiat, and I pee my pants, cry, and chain smoke more cigarettes. It was the best night ever, and that's the story. That's all I got. No jokes, just clap it up because I met Jay Leno. It was very exciting. Still trembling over it. But you guys are in for an awesome show. We got a wonderful lineup of comics. This first guy, you've seen